All right, hey everybody, hey all Star Wars CCG fans. Jared Napolitano, JNAP here. I'm going to be covering the top 16 GEMPC 5 match between Stubbly and jokerking, Connor and Chris respectively. And it looks like it's starting right now, so I thought I was going to have a little time just to kind of give a little buffer, but that's quite okay. I'm sure we'll be able to talk a little bit about various things. So let's hop in. And we're going to be seeing Connor playing Legend. So obviously, Connor Stubbly and Joker King's Chris. If you guys hear me throughout the stream, refer to them as one or the other. Um, you know, that's the Legend. So Joker King. It looks like he's going with Hunt Down V. Yep, and that's interesting from him because he's obviously very well known as a court player. He plays IE from time to time. Um, and Connor's playing Legend, which he has played a good a good amount of recently. Last year, 2020, various majors. But obviously, No Ideas is his like trademark deck. Um, so these two players, they're literally the two players I've played against the most of any players ever. Connor's my teammate, and Chris I know pretty well too. We've had a lot of matches, obviously. I think I've played Connor about 120 times and Joker King around 70. So hopefully that gives me some insights into different tendencies and what things, you know, might be in certain decks to maybe just give a little perspective. Pretty cool that we got, obviously, the new UI here, Epic Duel. We have a neat background here, GEMPC 2021. So these are some cool things of the new interface that we have going on right now. Connor's going to start with an all wings combo to pull the Falcon, and Joker King pulled a Dark Jedi lightsaber, which is pretty customary because of Visage of the Emperor Virtual over here, which once per game allows you to upload a lightsaber. So this is not a good match for Legend. This is one of the reasons I'm actually kind of soured on Legend lately. It's just Hunt Down V is. Wait a minute. Is this like a glitch? I don't even see the objective. He's not playing just the SS. Yeah, there's no way he would actually play it. So this looks like it's a glitch where the objective isn't showing for Chris. So maybe I'll hop back out and hop back in. But that's not normal. But maybe I'll look for a good spot to find that. So Joker King puts out the Malachor upper. I always forget, Sith Temple upper chamber. So this is a pretty sweet site. Between this and the defensive perimeter, we got 2 4-string +1s for Darkseid. He's going to upload Vader with the castle. Pretty standard. And there was just some discussion recently about this is just so automatic that every turn, if Darkseid wants to, they can pull Vader, probably pull his lightsaber unless they activated it, move Vader to a battleground, flip, and don't lose. Now the downside of that is he's now only got 3 locations out. He can't he can't download any other sites. But usually the only locations that Hunt Down V plays is the bridge, the blockade flagship bridge, and usually 3 or 4, probably 4. We must accelerates to get that out. So you're making a trade-off and getting Vader out fast, forcing the damage, with maybe drawing and finding that activation. So he could, maybe force choke himself. He's still getting 10. Legend gives him 2. He's getting the 1 extra with security precautions. And obviously he's going to avoid the ping from Visage. And yeah, it would be helpful to have the objective over here. So it might just be like a little refresh or leave. But let's just see how this first turn goes. And when we do these live streams, sometimes there's a little bit of points where there's a lot of thinking and some kind of key moments, and that's where maybe we'll have a good opportunity. But yeah, he is playing Hunt Down V. Maybe even I can put that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Or I'll just hop out. So Joker King pulls Imperial Detention. And that's interesting. I'm wondering what he might be anticipating that for. This card is pulled a lot less than his counterpart. Goldenrod, which is like Blizzard 4, Emperor Shuttle, Stinger, Jabba Space Cruiser V, Coruscant, Imperial Square. I feel like there's more. For light side, it's really Master Luke. Sometimes you'll see it pulled against like Y4 Ops because Luke deploys free to R2 and Red 5 of ability less than 5. Yeah, that's a good point too. Obviously, the resistance champ support. Thank you, David. Because yeah, that would be a quick, deploy 3. We'll probably start seeing it more. Because like I'll use resistance transport in like QMC, and no one's, maybe I'm giving away some stuff here, but rarely does someone pull that shield early. There's usually other things that dark side wants, but if it's got some extra shield pullers, it can afford to do that. So Legend, Old Allies, like I said, QMC can run it. You might even start seeing it in Diplo was a little bit of a mini thread today on Slack about resistance transport. But yeah, let me just leave real quick, and hopefully the objective comes back. As Connor's probably just gonna pull. So I'm gonna hop back to the lobby and let's go back in. There it is. Yeah. Okay, it's flipped. Sweet. Yeah. So this is probably gonna be pretty standard first turn for Legend, where they ideally pull Luke Saddle. There it is. Ideally, you pull Luke, or you deploy him at least if you open hand him for 3 force. Maybe you get out one more location, probably the antechamber. Pull maybe a force projection, so make sure you don't top deck that. And then you got to deal with this drain of 3. And I mean, to be honest, as Connor's teammate, we did not discuss Hunt Down V much from Joker King. And that's kind of the fun, the beauty, the frustration of a match play. And maybe that's kind of what leads to some upsets or some unpredictability, but also a lot of excitement, is that people don't know what to play with. They're noted to play, and some decks are I think Chris is a really good player. I think he's really underseeded in this tournament. He's if I bounce here real quick, here's the bracket. We're down here. This is the bracket where Joe's the number 1 overall seed, 1 seed 4 here. He's playing Brandon, Killer Kiwi, and Joker King's 40th overall seed. Connor's 9. So Connor was the top 3 seed, and I guess Joker King would be the last 10 seed, if I'm doing that right. And yeah, I think Joker King's underseeded at that point. But we'll see. And I think I was overseeded, first of all. I think Myers had a better case to be a 1 seed than I did. But maybe I would just been nice to Batmouse, so maybe he extra nice to Batmouse. So luckily for Connor, he gets that projection to maybe mitigate some of this early damage. And so that'll, he has got battle plans, so he'll make him pay the 3 to drain for 2 here. Not likely to see a Vergence in the Force here to eat the 3 and then put it on that slate to cap it to 1, which sometimes you'll see. But now here's the thing. So he could pay 3 to drain. He'd have 7 more force to work with. Maybe he puts out another character, or maybe even tries to put some more pressure on by putting an Inquisitor with a lightsaber to the defensive perimeter, or maybe to back up Vader. Probably what you'll see is him just pay to drain and then just draw some cards. But his hand he's got 9 in his hand, so maybe he draws 3, 4, 5 cards just to kind of get some answers for if and when Connor attacks. So they'll both do kind of mirror moves here, where Joker King played the Master Move combo. Let me turn the unlock on. And wow, okay, so Joker King's gonna sense here. That's interesting. Yeah, so Joker King grabbed the Gick with the Master Move combo. Connor goes to play Escape Pod combo to grab Hujix. We have a sense here where Chris does not want Connor to get the Hujix in his hand. And that's interesting, because yeah, I could see both arguments for it, but I do have a feeling there might be a better use for a sense early in the game. But now, Connor has to play around that. A lot of times people want to have a Hujix in their hand, especially against a deck like Hunt Down V that's very aggro, very good at battling. You want to make sure you have that in your back pocket in case there's some crazy overflow. So Chris is going to pay to drain for 2. O'Connor will try and do that at the end of his first turn. And here's the thing with Legend too. I mean, at this point, obviously you can never want against Watto. You got that early force loss. You can't top deck cards early. But at this point, Luke, the saddle, which pulls Luke, force projection. I think those are the cards that like end the game basically if Legend loses them and can't get them back because Coward's out with a shield. He's gonna lose Leia's gun and Rey off the top. Not good losing Rey. She's such a good character, especially because he has Falcon in his hand. Here comes Tarkin's bounty, so Chris is gonna look for something in particular in this force pile that he gets to pick from 7 options. He'll go to his battle phase. So yeah, he'll just restock his hand even more. I wonder. I mean, obviously he knows all the cards in his force pile. Maybe he has 1 or 2 other cards he definitely wants to draw. Maybe he'll draw to that point. And he'll avoid the ping from Visage. So Connor's got 5 cards in his lost pile already. He's activating only 11. He's going to pull Leia back out here with Strike Planning. I think the key card to this matchup for Legend is Menace Fades because, you know, even at this spot, if he can get it to a control battleground site, control battleground system, Hunt Down V's space is usually pretty one-dimensional, frankly. It's usually maybe Mara's ship or Emperor's shuttle, and Darkseid will try to get a lot of bang for buck out of that. But if Light Side can kind of fend that off, they can get Menace Fades on and they can shut down a lot of damage, and ideally get a Jedi out as well, like General Kenobi or Ahsoka. Sometimes you'll see, well, a lot of times you'll see Yoda and Qui-Gon in Legend as well. Not the most thematic thing, but they will help Legend here flip Darkseid back so that they're both at least losing to Visage. But the key here, and I made this mistake in the World quarterfinals against Chris Kelly in this matchup when I was Legend. If you force yourself to turn Menace Fades on too fast, you can really be vulnerable, and then you're always on your back foot, and you don't always want to kind of be, you know, because Hunt Down V will usually run first strike. It's usually going to have the ability, I shouldn't say usually, it always has the ability to draw high destinies and multiple destinies and weapons. That's just the nature of the beast. So it takes a lot of patience. And I think Connor is way better with Legend than I am. He's much more patient with it, especially when knowing when to use that flip function here to stop weapons is big. It's on the flip side. So I think we gotta, yeah, there we go. That's the new interface. So he's going to put Lor San Tekka down, upload Finn. He's got General Leia in his hand. He's 8-card hand. So yeah, so like I said, so at some point he's going to want to try Menace Fades, but not too quickly, because then he can just end up playing to play catch up. And in match play, obviously, you do not want to lose. You don't want to lose, period. You don't want to lose by a lot, and you definitely don't want to lose the first game by a lot, because it really changes the dynamic for the second game then. So, and you know, it sounds kind of simple, but like if you lose a game by 20, 22, something like that, your opponent can play very conservatively, you know, just in a vacuum, beating somebody by 24 or 25 cards is tough. But when your opponent knows that they can't lose by that much, or they're going to lose the match, it makes it even harder. So Connor will use one force deploy location. I got my lock thing off. He got it at the end of chamber, and now he's just drawing. So he's going to eat another ping from Visage here. And he's drawing to 12. He's got 6 days still. And he's going to respect Monarch, or he just kind of likes his hand as he top decks Qui-Gon's lightsaber. And now he's going to have another drain of a few here, as my dog comes in to say hello. So Chris is going to drain for 2 again, spend the 3 force. he can kind of slowly build up that force pile. Like I said at the beginning, one of the drawbacks with doing this rush flip is that you might not get your activation out. So, but if you can kind of keep chipping away, keep putting the pressure on Connor, eventually find that accelerate, find that bridge. Late game when you might need, or not, more like mid game, you might need it a little bit more. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Like, yeah. So not only you can kind of play a more balanced or conservative deck um, in game two if you are the victor of a big game one victory, game one game, I should say. All right, so now we're going to turn three. Um, Connor's got to probably start making some moves here. Um, you know, Joker King has a hand of 12 cards. There's probably some combination of Force Field V and Sniper Dark Strike and a You Are Beaten. Um, a bunch of those things in there. Maybe even the interrupt that adds a hatred card just to basically any character, I think, above ability 3. And then once you do that, well, you need the Inquisitor still to add the Battle Destiny. But needless to say, Dark has some tricks in these 12 cards. So, and 10-4 saved is a lot. So it's not like a lot can happen here. So Connor has to be kind of careful of what course of action he wants to pick. Yeah, so that was something we saw in Connor as he was bouncing off. Like I said, I think the only two decks I've really seen Chris play with any regularity are Court and IE. And we joke about us being spooked by IE. For no idea, it's a real grindy matchup. Um, but it really it only takes a turn or two of IE having occupation damage on to really flip a match. Or flip a game, I should say. So with the double escape combo, that really came in handy when I played against Matt Sokol on day 2. He was playing TTO. I top decked one of them, and then fortunately I was able to find my second one to avoid some TTO damage in a match that was pretty close for a while. And then only towards the end of the game, I had a couple things go my way. But yeah, I thought about suggesting him maybe just run one free ride combo and one escape pod combo. Um, but yeah, it's your free ride combo's got a pretty narrow use, whereas escape pods you can pull your Hujix as long as it doesn't get sensed. So Connor gets General Kenobi out to the antechamber. He's going to flip him back. He's got 12 more force to work with. Obviously, one of the things with General Kenobi, with General Leia, is you get those leaderships. Here comes Chewie. Having a resistance character there will allow him to flip if he so pleases. Because you can't flip if it's just, rebels or Republic people or aliens. And he's got another 7 to work with. So we know he has Leia in his hand, and we know he has Finn. He could also puts out Hera, which would be good against an Imperial, adding a Battle Destiny. Not going to deploy anybody else. Remember, he's got Finn in his hand, so he could deploy Finn for 3. Same side as a pilot. If he's going to draw, so that's not going to happen. So Joker King's up a little bit here early on. This will be an interesting turn. He's going to have 21 force active to work with. He might have even pieced together like a space package of like Emperor Shuttle, some Inquisitor pilot to get or maybe even Tarkin to get the 3 Battle Destiny. I did just see another matchup just wrapped up, or one game wrapped up at least. This was a LR Craft versus Winston. They advanced over 2 of my Coruscant League mates, Greg Shaw and Matt Sokol. And I'm pretty sure LR Craft won the first game he was playing. I think it's Legend over Map, I think was how it worked out. Sorry about the mess, and Lor Santeca get top decked. So hopefully with a lot of these top 16 matchups, we get some good coverage on them. And the idea is hopefully that it's pretty transparent that all the people left, hopefully they have the ability to watch or be aware, just so it's not, you don't want crazy information imbalances. It's been talked about a few times that the ability to change your decks from round to round really mitigates any scouting or stuff like that. But I think this coverage is always good for the game. and then the more people can see them. So hopefully we get people, we have a lot of people with the capability to stream now, and as long as they have, a little bit of a heads up, they can plan around it. We have people in different time zones. We even have a couple European streamers. So hopefully we get some good equitable coverage, and that, I always kind of think of a lot of these things from like a new and returning player perspective of, what are the really good players playing in competitive environments right now, and how are they approaching it? And then maybe if you get lucky, someone besides me who's a really good streamer who knows what they're talking about all the time and catches everything. Again, not me. you can definitely learn a bunch of things, but at the very least, maybe I can just try to showcase a few things, talk about my experiences, because sometimes they are applicable. And I have the opportunity now, thanks to design advocate Chris Kelly, we may have a potential spoiler for the upcoming V14 set. So we'll see a good opportunity to work that in. I think we'll get there, but stay tuned. I don't think this spoiler will shock anyone, given some of the discussions and given some of the power levels, but it still will be a pretty neat thing to learn. So as we have 2 Inquisitors come down against this stack of Obi-Wan, Chewie, and Hera, we got 5th brother and 8th brother, and we're going to see a hatred card come out. This guy's a boss. He, I think one of the tweets I did recently was that he's a tank, because you could do the hatred card or even with a Jedi. Even right now, he's power 7. This guy's probably relatively the worst of the 4 Inquisitors between these two, 9th Sister and 7th Sister. 7th Sister is Adam Fletcher's player card, who's really good. I think she's the best one. And then 9th Sister's the one that beats up on Scrubs. She's really good against No Idea. Connor will lose the card Menace Fades. Like I said, that's a key card in this matchup. As the hatred card will not cancel Hera's game text. And we're probably going to see a fight here. I can't imagine Chris, throwing these guys here without trying to do some. And we get a "You are beaten" against Chewie. So it's just, now he's not going to be able to flip, so now Joker King's going to be able to swing the lightsaber. It'll be an automatic action to exclude Chewie, and then Legend won't have the opportunity to flip. And that's a nice play by Chris, too, to play No Escape to get "You Are Beaten" back, so now he can play that on Connor's turn defensively if he needs to. This is interesting, too, because it reminds me, I know, hopefully you guys watched Hollow Theater this week, where Timo talked about how he just pulled out Hunt Down V against Silverglen. He was another person who's known to play IE, mixed it up through a curveball and did really well with it. So it's just such a strong deck. So Chewie's frozen out of the battle. Hera's still going to have the Battle Destiny, so that's, obviously probably that's a good play by Connor to preserve Hera's text, assuming, if there's a sniper Dark Strike here, this could be trouble. Especially because, or I know we saw the second Escape Pod combo. See if Connor's he might need a Hujix here. So the lightsaber, and that's the other thing about Hunt Down V. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. The other thing about Hunt Down V, the Destiny's just insane. So this is actually probably a good opportunity if we'll see what the second card is. Yep. All right. So 9th Sister now is a 2, becomes a 4, and Obi-Wan is hit. So the thing I can spoil per Chris is one of the changes, or two of the changes actually, to Hunt Down V is the front side will no longer make Inquisitors Destiny +2 for the remainder of game. It'll only make them +1. So this text here and what we just saw, oh, here comes the Sniper Dark Strike. This isn't good for Connor. Because as I was blabbing, I wasn't sure if I don't know if he pulled the second Hujix out. And then we get a flip. But as I was talking about here, yeah, so Destiny +2, they will be Destiny +1. So that'll take this down a little bit. And the other change, which seems logical in retrospect now, when this does flip back, when Hunt Down flips, or let's put it this way, when Vader's lost, this can't remain on the 7 side, which is kind of an awkward situation because sometimes you get a battle, as we see Battle Destiny of 5. Luke will reduce the power here by 2, so maybe Connor might not need a Hujix here. Looks like worst case he's peeling in like 2. Let's see what he draws. Yeah, okay, so 4, and that is a OG altar. And so Harry's going to be okay. So he's... Oh, no, I can't do math. He's going to have to peel 1. But that could have been a lot worse. Yeah, so what'll happen sometimes, you get a Jedi battling Vader, but if you're doing it on the light side's turn, maybe Vader's hit, your guy's hit, you lose, you have to forfeit your guy first, and then Hunt Down flips, or, no, it doesn't flip, because the condition as of now is, let me zoom here, it flips if the Jedi's out of sight, so, it'll stay on the 7 side, which is just awkward, and then dark side's still not losing. So until light side finds, the onus is on light side to flip them back, as opposed to the onus is on light side just to kill Vader. So he top decks, or let's see, who did Connor lose here? Let me scroll up here. Yeah, he lost the altar from the use pile, and then Hera covers 6. So that's going to set Connor back a little bit. I wonder if, it wouldn't surprise me if Joker King had a Sense or a Lana Dobreed combo in that circumstance, cancel a react, but I was wondering if he would have saved the 3 for Finn, would have given him a second resistance character. That's hindsight's 2020 there. And like I said, there's plenty of react cancelers, which I know was one of the things that came up when weapons display and firepower were blanked. Some people made the comment of, oh gosh, Arconas are going to be so powerful now. But there's a lot of ways to beat up on an Arcona. One of them, this guy, Mr. Enforcer. One of them, the Gick combo, Lana Dobreed combo, Sense. There's a lot of ways to make sure that an Arcona doesn't get abused, or that reacting away from battle like dodge or narrow escape. This deck, Hunt Down V, often plays Blast Door controls, which cancels narrow escape. It cancels variable barrier. A crazy evasion from light side has not, taken over the meta. So Connor takes Force Projection into hand. Or no, he looks for it. He already has it in hand, probably. Chewie is going to be impacted by You Are Beaten. Yeah, may not move, You Are Beaten. That's going to be through end of Joker King's next turn. So Chewie's just kind of hanging out there, blocking the drain, but this is not looking good for Connor. He's got 1 more card in hand, but 6 less cards in Life Force, or no, more than that, 9 less cards in Life Force, and worse board state. Connor gets Poe on the Falcon out to Jakku. So that won't be a drain of 2 because Hunt Down V cancels the force bonuses. Um, so this will just be a 1. And so Chewie's just kind of hanging out here, but he's going to need to find a way to either get Chewie out of here because he could become a liability, or reinforce. Here comes General Leia to the defensive perimeter. It doesn't like Connor's going to be able to get Menace Fades back. Something like Effective Repairs combo could retrieve an effect. But it's going to be tough for him to get that. So it looks like this is going to be a pretty steady drain of 2 if Chris decides to just keep chipping away. Or he could, maybe move Vader somewhere. But as it is, Vader's probably going to be camped out here for a while. And Rose comes out as well, which is good for Connor to try to start getting some force back. But right now it's damage 3. Looks like to damage 3 and retrieve 1. So 1, 2 plus the ping. This is a huge turn. So I think if you're Joker King here, you got to keep putting pressure on because you can't allow Legend. He's got 8 cards in his hand. He just lost Qui-Gon off the top. If Legend can reinforce space and or the ground next turn, then this is gonna be pretty close. Or I shouldn't say that. It's gonna help out Connor a bunch. But if Joker King's able to come down here, hit Rose and easily draw 4 to crack Leia's immunity. Although that won't be able to happen probably because of this. Now remember, he's got You Are Beaten in his hand too. But other lightsabers, he might have an EPP Mara. But a lot of times you'll see Hunt Down V just play Vaders and 1 Dark Jedi, maybe 2. Wouldn't surprise me if Joker King's playing 2 Dark Jedi lightsabers. And Connor loses Rebel Leadership and Ahsoka, another Jedi, which are very handy. Here comes the Sniper Dark Strike. Yeah, Hunt Down V usually plays 2 Sniper Dark Strikes, 1 or 2 You Are Beatens. It's just a power deck, and it's got these Inquisitors that are really strong, and the Destinies are. I've played it only maybe around 15, 20 times, and every time I play it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this thing is like really strong. When you go up against like a Hitco, it's gonna be alright. That's gonna be like a boxing match back and forth. So Chewie's easily hit here. He's gonna go loss, and I imagine Chris is gonna try to get some more damage through here with another drain to 2. I shouldn't say I imagine, he definitely will, or else why do this? Pay 3 to drain the 2, and just keep trying to work Connor down here in Life Force. As we see that new animation with the lightsaber slash, we'll say. I am not sure if they're planning to play their second game. I think the plan was probably they're going to play second game after this. So we'll see how that goes. But, Connor's got some work to do to try to cut some diff here. At the very least, it looks like, well, we'll see. Now it's his deploy phase. Let's see if Chris goes after Leia and Rose. Oh, what? What? Oh, wow. Oh, Connor definitely just, slammed the table. That's crazy. We got an Ice Storm in Hunt Down V. Wow. Whew. That's some spicy tech. I don't know. Some people say that Ice Storm is just banned, It's on a shield, so obviously that's the same thing as being banned. That's some sarcasm because, shielding something is not banning something or killing something. Wow. So that's not going to move. That just sits there, right, and marinates the rest of the game? Because it's only one outermost marker. Each turn moves to the next marker. How does that work? Does it just sit there, or does it... we need a rules team member, maybe. That's crazy. So now Connor he's got to fight into dudes with lightsabers who have a you are beaten. He knows he has a you are beaten in his hand, so he's gonna need to really come down with like 2 or 3 guys, not just like one. Um, that's pretty crazy. So Connor is down to 16 life force. He's not gonna probably pay 3 to drain 1. When Chris would probably just toss a card from hand here, or maybe he will. I did that once against Chris in our top 8 match, but I completely blanked on a hunt down V. Maybe they're canceling the 4-string bonuses. So I mean, it's a tricky situation. He's between a rock and a hard place. I want to try to chip away, but what can he do with 14 force and 2 destiny and 8 cards in hand? It's going to be tough to have an answer here. Yeah, that's true, Talon John. I guess Connor could just pull the shield and outright and cancel it now. It won't make Leia and Rose missing or unmissing. Here comes Yoda, so that's going to cause the flip. So, real quick, I'll reiterate since I already spoiled it in case anybody was hopping in and out or unable to listen, but there is going to be an update in V14 to hunt down V. It's going to be errated so that Inquisitors are Destiny +1 and not +2. And also, if Vader's not on table, this flips back. It doesn't stay on 7 side if Vader is off the table, because it could possibly do that before. Connor's going to put down Finn and upload Solo. He's going to put Solo out. I mean, maybe I lost track of it, but I'm pretty sure he's got You Were Beaten in his hand. He's got 7 force saved. But, maybe he hits or tries to hit Yoda, then You Were Beaten's him. Connor can do the flip here offensively in the battle, which would stop the swing, so that probably isn't going to happen. And at this point, now or never, kind of. What's ironic about Ice Storm is Connor's a big fan of Hoth CRV, and he's definitely messed around with some versions, sometimes of like Exhaustion, and he isn't back yet, and those other wacky cards like Ice Storm, Sun's Down, some of those things that mains come to Hoth, and then he does those crazy things. Connor's gonna peek at his top cards of his force pile and his reserve deck, and he's going to, let's see, yeah, he definitely can't move them both to force pile because then he can't even draw Battle Destiny, so this is strictly a way of maybe trying to optimize whatever he draws as opposed to pseudo activating a force or seeing that they both are bad and then moving to the force pile. That's not an option here. Yeah, so this is rough for Connor now. He's at 22 hand and life. Joker King's at 36, so that's up 14, and he's got slightly better board state. Yeah, here comes the You Are Beaten. I still can't believe Ice Storm was played. I'm surprised no one did that at Worlds. There were how many Hunt Down V decks that used the 3rd marker? Especially, I mean, if you give it Verify, it kind of loses it needs the element of surprise. You can't play Fanfare to upload it, because then that would give it away, because then Lightside would play their shield. It's a mobile effect. You can only upload immediate effects with Fanfare V. So he gets rid of Solo in the battle. He can't swing, so he's probably just trying to just overpower Yoda and force Connor to either peel a handful or, his Destiny's going to be +1. There's no Hatred card right here. Oh, okay, so he actually draws a 1. No, is there a Sith Fury? So Connors can either peel 2 or lose Yoda, and I'm gonna bet he's gonna peel 2, as hard as that is, given how low his life force is. But um, at least if he has Yoda there to absorb a drain of 2, but now Chris is definitely gonna come down with another character in that hand of 8. Well, not another. I come down with a new character since obviously Fifth Brother has to die to attrition. So now Connor has battle plan satisfied. We'll see how long that stays though, because it's very likely that Joker King's going to come down with an Inquisitor or an EPP Mara or a Grand Moff Tarkin or just somebody who can, or 1, 2, 3 characters who can come down and overpower Yoda over here. 2 times control for light side. I do that in all my Premier to Death Star 2 decks as a means to cancel Sense, Alter, and Force Drains. I don't usually play Control Tunnel Vision, anything besides like Watch Your Step, or sometimes in WAP, since Yoda, Master of the Force non-virtual, can upload it, and sometimes you just need to find a card. But I just feel like it always draws. I always draw. Yeah, with HITCO, it would make some sense to just run like an OG control with Destiny 2 as opposed to 1. So Connor loses the sight off the top and the female interrupt. Ice Storm required response goes lost pile. So shocking, Adam is right. He's kind of like a pseudo member of the rules team, being the lead proofer. 8th Brother comes down here. I missed my plug earlier. 5th Brother is one of the foils in the 2021 League kit. So if you are in an area and would like to get a league organized, check out the post on the forums. It's in the League Championship section. There's a handful of them that are starting to get organized now. It's a pretty sweet prize kit. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And even if you're a group of 1, maybe only one other person you play with closely, we want to make sure everyone wants to play in a league can play in a league. And maybe we have to pair up a handful of groups of 3 or 4 people, or just add a person here, add a person there. That's all good. The important thing is just to get people playing, and to make sure there's a express appreciation, and you get some nifty prize support by playing in those leagues. And something that I'm definitely seeing with these leagues that are planning is we're doing a couple different types of formats. So like in our Coruscant League, we're definitely going to do a Watto's Cube objective, and probably a Premier to Death Star 2, and probably some Jawa events. I know some people like to play Jawa. So here comes 7th Sister to accompany 8th Brother. And here comes First Strike. So now he's going to get some cards back. Connor's going to play Rebel Leadership to try to upload something. Maybe he's got another Obi or another Leia floating around. And he just lost the Nestler. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Oda Nestler combo would be really helpful for him if he can go here, find them, get Rose retrieving. It might be tough because he's getting pretty low on life force and resources, but and Joker King grabs it to make sure the card doesn't go back into his life force. We've got a shuffle here. Here comes the battle. Solo's gonna get excluded after the automatic actions take place. And now Joker King's at 30 force face down. Oof, there goes the Hujix off the top. And Joker King, if he wins this, he's going to be able to retrieve with Enforcement as well, because they both occupy 2 locations. Here's a Destiny 1, which becomes a 3. So like I said with the spoiler, that's going to be a 2 going forward. Connor's going to play Force Projection to pay the Force. This is interesting. He might not lose this battle. And he might... Oh, I was going to say, he might have an opportunity for like a counter beat. If one of those two cards is a character, he's going to kill one of... Or he might kill one of these Inquisitors because Seventh Sister makes him immune less than 4. Let's see. Yeah, immune less than 4 from Seventh Sister. The sense goes through. Jokerking's going to need to lose 2 because of do or do not. Probably going to toss some Force from hand, although, yeah, use it from use pile. It might be getting too cute now to lose from Lice Force. Or lose from hand, rather. So he loses another sense from hand. So they both have 2 cards in hand, but Connor's down to 11 Force face down, whereas Jokerking's at... Oh, why is the Inquisitor just hanging out up there? Okay, he's gone. Oh, and he gets the redraw for the Battle Destiny. Okay, so now that's going to go to a 5. Because getting the plus total Battle Destiny plus 2. So you just turned a 3 into a 5 because of Enforcement. I hate this card, personally. And Connor draws a 5, so he can just peel a Force, though. And he is going to crack... Yeah, Tristan less 1... So he's gonna have to lose one of them. And he meaning Chris. Is he gonna pay the Force to retrieve? Probably, I'm guessing. The worst case scenario would be here is if Connor like drops a Draw Their Fire and another guy and somehow overflows him for a bunch and tries to and gets a lot of differential back. Right. So Tristan's -1, but he drew a 5, became a 4. And then Connor will lose Jedi Lev. Battle's over. Solo can battle now on Connor's turn. I mean, we do know Jokerking's had that Gick from like turn 2. So whatever I was saying about maybe Connor being able to counterbeat here, you know, maybe he forces out a Gick, but he's going to be able to get a drain through here now of 2 at the system because Huntdown's on its front side. He could battle here, get a swing with First Strike. He could chip away, and obviously with match play game 1, he has every incentive to just chip away. And with Jokerking only having 3 cards in hand, there's not a huge risk. Although he did just take Inquisitor into hand, Grand Inquisitor. So he can throw guys down, get First Strike swing, maybe get an Enforcement retrieval. So, you know, it's kind of in that zone of you don't want to allow him to keep retrieving, but he has so many Force left that you do want to just keep playing and keep trying to chip away at him. Here comes Corn Horn. I'm thinking, did Connor probably track that 5 Battle Destiny around, right? That's probably why he saved 2 and not... Or maybe he's got to respect a close call, something like that. But I would bet Connor's going to draw a 5 here. Oh, here goes BB-8. So that'll be a free ping, as long as he's alive, obviously. Connor's going to peek. So if he... You know, I think the bottom card of his reserve deck was the card he used to pay for First Strike. Unless, did he, like... I don't think he did a verify, did he? Seven Sister's going to draw a card from the top of reserve deck, using her game text, use the last Force. We're going to have a battle here. Connor's going to retrieve 1. And yeah, he's going to draw that 5, the all wings combo. So Seven Sisters definitely going to die. Connor's probably hoping he could maybe just punt Cornhorn so that he kind of has to. Although, you know, if Chris draws like a 5, it's going to turn into a 6, right? Total battle destinies +1. Or you have an Inquisitor. Yeah, so it's a 1. Wow. So that's... But he can redraw it? Yeah. You can redraw it with Enforcement. And he can take it into hand. Sure, why not? Although he's not going to really need him. And he draws a 2. Okay, so that's big for Connor that he doesn't have to lose Yoda or Solo. Because he can keep him flipped on the 0 side, and he also is going to get the BB-8 pings in. Maybe. I mean, Joker King's probably going to throw Inquisitor at this stack. He loses Solo. Am I missing something? Why didn't he just lose Cornhorn? Oh, it was a 2 that became a 4, and then it was a +1. Oh, +2 because of the Hatred card. Oh, God. That's crazy. So, a character of Destiny 2 turns into a 4 because of this part, and then turns into a 6 because of the total. Wow, that's wild. So yeah, it's good that that's getting taken down a notch. Yoda's going to okay, nice. So Yoda's going to teleport over here. Maybe form a search party. And this will, you know, probably mean that he'll be on one battleground site come his next turn, so that he can at least get some more damage at the drain. But he is going to probably have to field a, you know, a battle. Like if you're Joker King, you're just going to throw that Grand Inquisitor at somebody. He's going to use the 3 to drain for 2. Jedi Live goes off the top, and Hear Me Baby Virtual goes off the top. So hopefully if anybody's watching, hope you guys had fun with the Jaws in Love event. There's still another day. It's kind of awkward because I think the GEMP League goes through the 15th, but I know the event as announced was the 14th, so I don't know what the official end date is. But, you know, you guys probably saw there's some pretty sweet prizes, obviously from Kendall as the organizer, and then PC's doing some virtual and physical, I shouldn't say virtual, some digital and some tangible prize support as well. So definitely try to get to 10 games minimum if you haven't already. It might be tough. There's some people that have really been cranking out a lot of games, so to get to the top 8 at this point might be a little tough. Here comes Ninth Sister. He's gonna do the Hatred card, but you know, Korn's text isn't really gonna come into play here, so you'd rather just have it canceled than lose another force. This is gonna be a battle. First strike ping, first strike retrieve. And so now his total battle destiny is +2. So if he draws an Inquisitor, he can kill both these guys. He meaning Darkseid, Joker King, Chris. If he draws he can't do the redraw now or retrieve with Enforcement because now, so obviously that was a good play for a few reasons from Connor to teleport with Yoda. But now that he's on more locations than Joker King, he turns this off. Connor loses all wings off the top. And this will be a big draw. So it's a 4 that's going to become a 6. So both those guys are going away. Now, if Connor really wants to hit this search party here, if he hits the search party, he can start retrieving with Rose again. But that might, you know, every turn he can kind of drag this out is probably better because at least he's getting free damage through with drains, whereas Chris is going to have to keep making decisions on, I mean, not really tough decisions, but hey, do I want to drain and put down one dude to attack? Or do I want to drain, or not drain and put down 2 guys to attack into this pseudo stack over here? Not really a stack, it's only 3 people. But so now Connor's got to lose these 2 two guys here, so he's going to lose the BB-8 ping. He does still have Walkling out, so, and he's on 2 battlegrounds for Coward. I wonder if he pops the Walkling now. Maybe even just to guarantee that he hits the search party too, because he needs to draw a 5, right? It's 5 plus 1 for each character. He has to be greater than 5. If they're scouts, you add 2, and then the characters can't battle or move the remainder of turn, including the person that was found. That came up recently in some. What game was that? I think it was Joe was playing Apollyon, and I think Joe didn't realize that his found character could also not participate in the battle that same turn. So yeah, so Connor's going to retrieve BB-8 here. And Jokerking needs to take a ping. So Connor's probably going to be able to get this under 20, I'm thinking. Which won't be easy, but it's a lot. It was starting to look closer to 30, turn or two ago. So here comes drain of 2, and the other, obviously, if he finds these two, this is now a drain of 3. Obviously, finding Rose is huge. I think, did he activate past? If I force drain, can I still form a third? Good old search party rules. Yeah. So it's you can't battle or move if you do a search party. If you participate in a search party, you make this selection of exactly which characters participate. Usually you want all your characters, but so two inquisitors get top decked. So Connor's saying he should have found them first and then turned on the drain of 3, the bonus from the 7 side of the objective. Here comes the search party. And he tracked the BB-8 around good for him. So that's going to find them. Now he can retrieve. So he might be able to really get this down a good amount because, Jokerking doesn't have any. I think one of those 2 cards in his hand is a Gick. I'm not sure what the other one is. It might be the second Vader, or maybe he tossed him. Oh, he definitely should have found Rose first, because then he could have retrieved with Rose. But so kind of 2 tricky search party things working against Connor there. Yeah, that's a 2-4 swing right there. Okay, so he tossed both the Gick and the Vader. Thank you, David. Yeah, right. So he still has the Grand Inquisitor in the hand. Going to Connor's move phase. He's going to now draw. Maybe try to take a look at these 2 cards and see which one might be more preferable. And he draws another. Yeah, so you can cycle that. Shuffles Jokerking's reserve deck there. We get a cool little animation. Draws another. Yeah, it might be tough for a Grand Inquisitor to attack into this, because then Yoda's going to get the +3 bonus, so he's going to be power 6, +3 in a defensive battle. Leia is going to be 4, so that's 6 versus Inquisitor, which is 5. He gets those bonuses, so it's not like he's going to attack and get an overflow, but if he has like a leadership, that might be some trouble. If Connor has a rebel leadership. Jokerking drains for 2. We're going to see Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo. Get tossed from hand. I still can't believe Ice Storm. Oof. Probably, it's like a HITCO. I'm going to go to the defensive perimeter. You just got to keep it under wraps for it to be effective. So even if he has Yeah, so this is interesting. Does he just want to throw the Inquisitor into this? No, so he's just not even going to deploy him here to try to like pay 3 for another 1 to try to work him down. But so now Connor, he's definitely going to do the search party first. You know, he cycled that Bith Shuffle combo. Here comes Lana Do. Oh, he draws a 6-fill Lana Do breed. I'm presuming it's Vader to the defensive perimeter. I mean, it has to be. Right? I don't know. Like, I mean, so Connor only has. He's probably gonna grab this just to take a card out. Yeah. But now maybe Connor doesn't do the search party, attacks, retrieves with first strike, retrieves with General Leia. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Haven't we seen 2 Sniper Dark Strikes already used or lost? I think the You Are Beatens have been. Maybe he's got another. We'll see. He has 2-4 saved. Okay, so he's not going to be playing You Are Beaten. I mean, he's going to... This is risky because if Connor can knock off Vader here, then there's, you know... Alright, you're getting pinged. Both sides are getting pinged by Visage. But, you know, light side's up in the damage race. Alright, so he wants to take 1 back with the activation. That is usually an easy revert accept. So Connor's going to save 1, it sounds like. I wonder, do we know, is the BB-8 on the bottom? Was that the very first action he did, was the prior turn? Or he's going to set it up here at least. So if he sets up that BB-8, he can crack Vader's immunity, even if there's some like shenanigans that happen. It's going to be... And then... This will be interesting. I'm not sure if I like that play. Like, if Joker King just sat at the upper temple chamber, which is another one of the league foils, FYI, if anyone's, since this is a pretty sweet location. If you just, you know, drain for 2, even if he finds Rose, so he is doing the search party. I don't know about that. Does Connor not know? Physical choke, interesting. That's definitely a no idea tech card. So he hits on the search party. He can retrieve with Rose. But I know it might have been tough, but I think he might have been better off. Unless he's got some trick in hand. Might have been better off foregoing the search party and just trying to get Vader off the table. Because as David said, he tossed the Vader. And what's probably pretty wild about Hunt Down V is you don't see a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe people play it more than me do, would know better, rather. You play 3 Vaders in Hunt Down V? You play 2? I feel like 2 is more common because you auto pull the 1. 3 would be helpful if you're playing against like HITCO, where you might actually have some, or have a lot of battles. So he finds Rose. Looks like we've got an image glitch because she still looks like she's missing. But Vader wouldn't be able to cancel her text if she wasn't. Yeah, so that's right. He's got the choke Vader because he draw him once for Destiny. Because the other thing too, I mean, not a lot of people played that interrupt, but you can do the Destiny 5 with the image. I've been searching for you for some time. You can toss a Vader to upload 2 Inquisitors. Probably that doesn't get used too often. I kind of like the other function of that, where you're basically retrieving without retrieving. You send a hatred card on a guy who's about to get lost to your use pile. And you're cycling a 5 interrupt. You're getting a card back in your life force. But I saw a lot of Worlds decks didn't actually play that card. Maybe one. Alright, so we have Connor's deploy phase. Not really going to be able to do much with 2 4s active besides battle retrieve with first strike. And then yeah, so he's not going to battle. Well, obviously he can't because he did the search party, duh. So he can't. He's going to draw. He's going to have to toss a card here to Visage. Virtual. draws another. He's now not going to be able to play any interrupts during battle. If he had any, like maybe he's got a leadership, but I don't know how helpful that's going to be. Well, it would be pretty helpful. Just to ensure he kind of cracks Vader's immunity. Tosses Finn from hand. So Connor's now one card in hand, 3 life. I think this is, if you're Connor, based on how this went early, this is pretty decent result. And if you get it like around like 13, 14, then you just kind of play like straight up. You don't have to get too crazy with deck selection. You don't have to get too crazy with how you approach. He's going to play Rescue to grab one of those 3 cards that he could most use right now. Got to shuffle, got to put the card back, so yeah. And then we're still pretty sure, right, that he has a Grand Inquisitor in hand, so he's going to come down now too. Yep, there he is. Oh, that's Tarkin. Uh-oh. And now Connor shuffles. Plays the shuffle. Yeah, so if he gets 2 Battle Destiny, he's probably going to hit one of those guys because he's adding 1 because of the defensive perimeter. Oh, sounds like the Destinies are bad though. Yeah, so he probably wants to hit Yoda. If he hits Yoda, he definitely will probably also get rid of Leia. But then Rose survives, so at least he holds battle plan. And then he could maybe just like Suicide Rose with a first strike ping. Here comes Grand Inquisitor. So that's going to be a ping if Yoda is lost. That's an interesting decision. Do you want that 3 power? So Connor allows the game text to get canceled. So he's not going to pick up that 3 power in a defensive battle. Or no, he is losing the Force. Okay. This shuffle from use pile. And we have the first strike battle. He's going to have to lose this probably from... He could do either. The rescue is the card in his use pile. He's going to get the ping from I Am Your Father if he lands the Saber, which he knows the Destiny, so maybe he just plays it safe just to get the ping through. He's going for Leia. So, so that's a 2 that becomes a 5. Oh, and he has the option to cause a redraw. Okay, interesting. Must be a chance that Leia doesn't get hit, otherwise you wouldn't burn this. And it's Mara. Yeah, that's a lot of pings. I Am Your Father. So he gets the redraw with enforcement. Oh, he draws the 6. So that's gonna hurt. So that's a ping. He loses all that forfeit of 8. Yeah, and there's going to be an Inquisitor. Unless he draws really low here. This is probably a game. I don't think Connor's going to be able to flip the script. But yeah, there's a 4 that's going to become... The total Destiny is a +2. So that's a 6. So we're at 21. And there's a 0. So 21, he's probably gonna have to lose Yoda. Or was it? Is it win a bat or win a Jedi or Padawan or lost? Right. Move from. Oh wait. Yeah. So that this is gonna be game, because he. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So that's 6 and change. 628. Leia's forfeit 0. So even if he were to just lose Rose, he's gonna have to lose Yoda, and that's gonna force the ping. Because if he loses Rose, he still owes at least, what is that, 1.7, so that's 2 cards more. So that's going to be this game. Jokerking's going to win by 17. Causes Ice Storm. Oh, Ice Storm was the hatred card. Yeah, so Grand Inquisitor is going to ping. So that's going to be 17. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's see if they're in fact going to play game 2. So I'll put that in the chat here just in case this becomes the same stream. Joker King, game 1. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen too. Are you okay playing a different day? I'm a bit tired. I think he's in the Midwest. So, but, you know, whatever these guys want to do is cool. It's hard to... Alright, Joker King wants 15 to chug some caffeine. It's gonna get right towards midnight Eastern time for me. So that's kind of, that's right on the fence. Thanks, man. Alright, Alright, let's say I'll plan to do it. But if not, I'll communicate with you guys. So I'm gonna put an away message up. I'll be back in a little bit. Looks like they're planning to start not for another 10-15 minutes. Alright, thanks guys for streaming, or thanks for watching. I'm streaming. I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, hey guys, I am back. Looks like they're going to get started very soon. I'm just going to put a graphic up here for the diff in game 1. Let's see how this works. I don't know where the font went. Alright, we're there. I'm going to post the table in a moment. Maybe we'll do it in the game, might be easier, because I can't find it on my screen right now. Alright, so they're jumping in. Stubbly's going to be dark. Jokerking's going to be light. I apologize if I start fading a little bit. It's getting pretty late, but hopefully I can get some decent coverage here. Jokerking is playing HITCO, so this is probably a matchup that Stubbly's relatively happy to say, but at the same time, you know, I'm sure Jokerking has some tech in here to make this a tight match. Let's try this again. So text. Just want to get ahead of the inevitable. Oh, I think I know what I did. As they're getting set up, Connor's going to go ISB with prepared defenses, Imperial Enforcement, Imperial Rest Order, and Kuat Drive Yards to get his sights out. Pretty standard start for HITCO for Jokerking. Game 1, Jokerking, plus 17. Let's see, where's a good place I can put this? Maybe I'll put it over here. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay. So this is game 2. Again, Jokerking won game 1 by 17. He was Hunt Down V. Connor played as Legend. And here we go. So again, Connor's an overall 9 seed. Jokerking's the overall 40 seed. Jokerking got past GEMPC, and I can check real quick as we're just getting set up. You guys can see this. Jokerking won round 1 versus Archmage, Aaron. Then he beat Tom. Stubbly beat Babadook, and then he beat Jack Tech. And like I was saying in the first game, you know, it's been a pretty exciting tournament. There's been a lot of good games, good matches, good amount of upsets. Alright, so we already got a revert, so maybe Connor wanted to check something else in his reserve. He puts out the docking bay for Coruscant. He also puts out the one for Death Star 2. And out comes Mustafar from reserve. That's probably what he probably wanted to make sure it was in there before he spent the 2 force. Pretty standard start from ISB here, just to get out its activation. Maybe draw a card or 2. This is, you know, significantly different than ISB was, you know, 4 months ago or so. When, maybe 5 months, when you could still do slip sliding away V to start the square and, you know, another 2-1, which really sped up ISB. And that in combination with Moff Gideon being around, coming up on about a year, he came out last March, having an additional Moff that makes all Imperials deploy -1 at sites. It was just a card from 1998 that got a boost for a new Moff emerging onto the scene. And we're going to have Jokerking's deploy phase. Let's see if he throws Luke out. no secret here. People have to be careful against ISB because of what I was just talking about with that deploy -1, and with Colonel Wolf Yularen, who can activate, one force for each ISB agent on table. You can get like Tarkin V, who draws some cards, and Lieutenant Paul. So ISB has like a unique ability to get out a lot of dudes, even though a lot of them are like numpties, pretty fast, and also replenish their hand, so they have answers and the ability to keep up a good fight for the subsequent turn. And obviously with the 7-sided objective, retrieving ISB agents every draw phase, and Imperial Enforcement retrieving ones for each one battle, it just creates like this cycle of, as we see in Escape Pod combo, he's probably going to pull a Hujix, maybe a Grimtosh. Oh no, he does neither. He just cycles it, so he probably has, that signals, hey, I have a Hujix in my hand. That ability to keep restocking the hand. I know Drew would use the phrase reload, the ISB reload, because you would just keep cycling Imperials around from your hand to your lost pile to your life force. Why can't you hear me, Scott? I don't think I'm muted. Do you have me muted? Hopefully there's somebody else. It sounds like Talon John I'm okay for. Connor just gets out the Executor docking base, and now he's got 3 1-0 docking bays out, and he's just going to draw his hand again. This might be a bit of a staring contest. Joker King having the 17 card advantage. He doesn't want to make any crazy missteps early. That could lead to a big loss. So he's probably going to play this conservative. As Connor draws up to 14, it wouldn't shock me if Joker King threw a Monarch or threw a Grimtosh in here. It's interesting how he does play Court a lot, but he says he never plays it in match play. So I know Chris does have a pretty good idea of certain cards that are more helpful in match play, and he's not afraid to kind of do some things that a lot of other players don't. Like, he'll play 2 or 3 grabbers in a Court deck. He'll play Ice Storm and Hunt Down V. And there's a handful. I think he's trying to think if he's ever played like he has played like Changing the Odds before, stuff like that. No free verifies. When I've played him, he often plays light side. When he does play light side, Old Allies and Throne Room. And I remember he played one game against me. I was playing Agents, and he had like everything. He had the control. He had they're tracking us. He had Changing the Odds. He had 1 or 2 other cards that aren't very commonly played in that deck. So point being is there might be some spicy stuff in here. So Yoda gets deployed from reserve deck to the Jedi Council chamber as he can be downloaded. Connor sitting at 13 cards in hand. I wonder if Yoda's just going to babysit there, but against ISB, where every character basically is a spy, he is no safer there than anywhere else. But like we just said, because he just cycled the Escape Pod combo, I mean, that means he has Hujix in his hand. Out comes Obi-Wan. He's going to flip. He's going to retrieve a card with the 7 side. Yoda's going to back him up. So Yoda's now power 6 because 2 Jedi on table. Either Joker King doesn't want to commit his loot quite yet, or he doesn't have one quite yet. Either way, I think I kind of like that. Not putting Luke out too early against ISB. At least Joker King's going to try to get some damage forced, making sure he's chipping away, move that Prophecy of the Force over there, and force Connor to do something, whether go to space or. I think any game, any light side deck that uses Jedi Council Chamber, Boss Nash Chambers against ISB, it's a pain in the butt because they're going to get to that site eventually and force you to dedicate resources to defending it. And right now we have Moff Gideon going to the docking bay. he's a spy, right? All ISB agents are spies. So I wonder why he's going here. Let's do, yeah, spy. I feel like he'd go either here or here. Either here because then he can make everybody deploy -1, or here because he's planning to go there anyway, and in which case why waste the extra force to move? So I have another spoiler, courtesy of Mr. Chris Kelly, design advocate. So you folks that are listening, it looks like we got about a dozen viewers. For the V14 set and errata, which Chris has alluded to a little bit on the forums. But one thing that is going to be changing, or very, very, very likely to be changing, put it that way, I'll have to caveat it because nothing's ever final until it's, on the PDF basically. But Yoda is not going to be able to teleport to any location, any battleground going forward. Once V14 drops, he's only going to be able to relocate to EP1, Episode 1 battleground locations. Or actually, I'm not even sure. I'd have to check that. It might be definitely to only Episode 1 locations. It might be to only Episode 1 battlegrounds. So he's not going to be able to do this because this is not an EP1. He can't go from here to here. Obviously Yoda's a pretty strong card. And D&D is always kind of looking for things that might be a little too strong to take them down a notch. And also, obviously, do things to try to boost certain decks and make it so that the meta is not stale and making sure that it's as balanced as possible. So that's obviously a good point because with HITCO, let's see. No, yeah. You can't do it with Twilight. That's right. Twilight prevents that from happening. Yeah, with the starting effect. You're right, Talon John. Yep. So his spot in HITCO is going to be subject to change. Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a feeling that was not normal for why Connor did that. This is going to be interesting revert because, yeah, he'd prefer not to because now it's in his move phase, so it's only 2 phases back. That's tricky, but I mean, it is a competitive game. Yeah, I think that's the either I'd go here to get the deploy -1 on sites, or I'd go here to start pressuring. But you wouldn't go here because then he just pulls the coward shield. Yeah. It wouldn't change how I deploy this turn. Understand if now. Yeah, this is kind of tricky because it's clearly a misplay. Like I was saying, like there's no reason for him to go to the stocking bay, but at the same time, that one no one ever has to give a revert. So it's kind of a tricky spot here. You want Gideon at the square so that everybody's deploying -1. I think I just have the chat on. Let's go to he plays a battle order. It looks like I think it was right after. I'll grant it, but not at this point. Here, let's see. I'm still not sure which button is the combo. Here we go, this one. Combo game activity and chat on the new interface. Yeah, because in theory, just Gideon and Patrol go to the square. He still puts Stalker out. He still draws. Okay, well, he's going to move Gideon there. This is going to be weird because now he's got this trooper here, but so the misplay is going to cost him a force in the move. I think wouldn't the trooper have been 1 less? I think he cost 3. He would have been 2. Did he he had to have uploaded them. So I mean, if Jokerking has a spy, that could be a real capitalization on the error. But if not, there might not be much harm. So he's going to pay 3 to drain for 1, relocate the prophecy to the Ewok village. So yeah, I'll do it one more time too with this spoiler. So spoiler for V14 is Yoda's not going to be able to relocate to sites unless they are episode 1. And you know what, I'm not even positive if it's... I'm pretty sure it's Battleground, episode 1 Battleground, but I could check that offline. Since I'm on the playtesting team, I have access to the master list. So if Chris Kelly is telling me I could spoil it. Let's see here. As we get Luke comes out, here comes Luke's lightsaber. Where's my guy Yoda? Yeah, it is episode 1 Battleground site as a regular move. It's still going to be free, but it has to be a Battleground. So you can go to like the battle planes, but obviously you couldn't do it in this HITCO because Twilight forbids it. But you could play HITCO without Twilight. Still seeing a couple of them floating around. So jokerking gets Luke out. He's drawing. So, alright, so the stubbly mistake just cost him a couple force. But it's not going to cost him a beatdown. So he's going to activate. I wonder what Connor's approach here with Stalker is basically, hey, I really don't think he has any space. Maybe he's got to verify so far. I probably should be paying closer attention, but he definitely wants to not over deploy places, because when you got to win by 17, you know, every card's going to matter. So if he's pretty confident that Jokerking's running no space, maybe he just leaves Stalker there and calls it a day, and doesn't overcommit even one pilot. Or maybe he's got some barriers, but you know, wouldn't bank on a barrier against HITCO, which probably runs a canceller, maybe a sense. And we have a flip. So this is a turn 4 ISB flip here. Callus is going to reveal top 2 cards. Right now, Jokerking has no lost pile. He's got 3 amigos at the Ewok village with Luke, Obi-Wan, and Luke. I don't think any of them are Force Ghosts, although in the movie, I think Yoda and Obi-Wan were. We got Anakin's a Force Ghost, right? He's hanging out there. Yeah. So, out comes Kir Kanos. This docking bay is really strong. It's really hard for light side to move away from it because they have to spend +8 force, and dark side is free. So that includes, like, you know, light side got HITCO docking bay. It says, like, you know, transit 2 here is +4, +6, whatever force, but it's free. Because free is free. So ISB or dark side can go from here, basically any docking bay, totally free. I think there might be one docking bay in the game that says even if it says, like, it's this one actually. I think it says ignore other docking base text. So that would be something, yeah, for the light side one. That would be something that gets around, you know, the free, as we have Sergeant Tarl and Colonel Wolf go to the council chamber. Now he'll be able to satisfy Simple Tricks shield, so it's not like Jokerking can just pull a shield and cancel the strain. Tarkin comes out, so Stubbly's just like vomiting ISB agents on the table here, going to his battle phase. Gonna guess the patrol's gonna go here probably. Patrol's moving, that's for sure. You know, obviously all these guys are deploying -1 because Moff Gideon's over here. So yeah, he moves the Trooper there, and now he's threatening 1, 2, 5, 6 damage, not paying for any of it, versus Jokerking threatening 3 and retrieving 1 with his objective, but Connor can't pull resistance, or wouldn't pull it right now. He's only on 2 battlegrounds. Yeah, ISB is not fun, Dan. I think ISB is the least fun deck to play against in Star Wars CCG. I'm with Chris there. There. I hate ISB. So Joker King takes a peek, or uses 7 side here for the control phase. And he's going to drain here for 3. He's paying 3. And the thing I don't like about ISB is that it's basically impossible to flip back. Like, you have to kill every single ISB agent, or you play Lieutenant Blount, who will probably get killed by a Nevar Yalnal pretty quickly. And that's about it. You can't flip it back. There are no ISB agents on the table. So Connor's going to lose his second Pulse item, Justice from hand, and an imbalance combo from reserve deck. Gets the thing about ISB, early game they can just start tossing ISB agents knowing they're going to retrieve them. Just keep cycling them around. And these ISB agents are usually like deploy 2-ish and forfeit somewhere between 5 and 7. Also, a lot of them are troopers, so you can do some trooper assault. Not that, I think obviously most people know all this, but these are some of my grievances against ISB and why I find it frustrating. But it's why Tarn Myson is our savior, because he can blow up a doom stack of ISB agents in space. I don't know, after I played Scott in the GEMPC in round 2, playing against Mind What You Have Learned, my brain was totally fried in that game. I was just trying to account for all the different manipulation that the deck does and things it shuts down, and you're just like, oh, this little bright hope in a tandem, and then all of a sudden it's like reducing everything. Just that build that Scott has is so good and frustrating to play against, but really, really well, really originally constructed. So we're at deploy phase, about even on time here. And out comes Padme. So he's stacking this. And I guess he might be taking the approach of, let me just keep chipping away 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. He might be daring Connor. I don't know if there's a third battleground. Actually, I do know. Let me see. But if not, yeah, that's not good, because that's a good strategy, because Connor's going to have a hard time getting resistance turned on to cap that drain. And he's got to win by, it's called 18. So if Joker King just keeps getting through these drains of 3, 3, 3, retrieve 1, Connor's going to need to find Vader to flip him back. It's, maybe Joker King doesn't win, but he's definitely not going to lose by 18 that way. So that's probably his approach. So Connor has 8 cards in hand. Out comes Aim High. I mean, it's gonna be tough to cut through this. So Joker King's clearly respecting, hey, Stubbly might be able to drop like 6 troopers down for a dozen force. And try to just overpower. But if you got Padme adding to attrition, you got 2 lightsabers, you got, Yoda's going to be power 6, you got Luke with all his tricks, sorry about the mess, the clash, Tarkin and Callus are 2 of the stronger ISB agents. They're both committed over here. Wolf and Tritum, I think those are the big 4. Well, obviously Gideon's really strong too, but for a while it was Tarkin, Callus, Wolf, and Pol. You would see those guys all on two times in a lot of ISB decks. Even when ISB was kind of like a tier 2 deck. So here comes a drain of 3. So if let's say they're each trading retrievals of 1, And then we're doing 3, 2, 1 versus 3. You know, just like the simple math of it. They're about equal on force. No, Joker King's up 5 cards in hand. Oh, and he just smacked versions of the force there. So that's going to cap that to 1. So now, yeah, the way the math is right now, Connor can't just ride this trajectory. It's not going to result in a win of 18. But at the same time, what do? You throw a bunch of dudes against this, you know, the family over here with Luke and his mother and Obi-Wan and Yoda Mofo, as he's sometimes called. We got Anakin Skywalker V. It gets grabbed. Chasm Walkway, right? So, and that's the interesting thing about Virgins is that even though he lost the drain here, he can put it over here. I mean, you could even lose it from your own location, but then you could deploy it on there because it only can go on opponent's location. But the force drain that triggers this to be deployed can be anywhere. So I think maybe Adam told me a funny story once of someone drained over here, but then I put it on this site randomly over here, and like I think it might have actually been ISB, like a Stormtrooper garrison maybe was at like a hot docking bay, and that was like a drain to 3. So it's an interesting card. This and End of the Bureaucrat is obviously the dark side version. Going to Stubbly's draw phase, so he's going to retrieve 1. And he puts Barrack there to reinforce. You know, this is a benefit of HITCO now is some of their activation with Yoda's Hut is impossible to get to. Conversely, if you guys have ever run into that really annoying New Allies 5d6 deck that puts like Faithful Service or Force Servitude is a dark side version, you put it on opponent's location, unless they control it, it just sticks, and you can just keep tossing 5d6 to lose. So that version, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Charlie's the main person who came up with it or somebody else on the team, but I know he played it at Worlds. You know, that deck's really good against HITCO because you put it on the hut and then you just keep tossing 5d6 to satisfy, you know, up to 5 force loss at a time because that's his forfeit. You forfeit droids for their forfeit value. Covers that life force. That deck's really annoying. But it's also, you know, maybe a little more narrow in what it's built for. But, I mean, I don't know what the current numbers are, but HITCO is very, very, very popular right now. OCS and probably the GEMPC. But the OCS, I mean, I played it, well, 2 of my 6 matchups. I think it was that. It was a 2, maybe it was even 3. It's 2. I played TIG. I played Diplo. As we have a force drain here, Moff Gideon's going to get tossed from hand, Vengeance from hand, and also Sergeant Elsic. He's a fun guy to hit with that Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi combo. Because he's ability 1, he can get excluded. So if Darkseid goes into a battle anticipating he can be forfeited to cover all remaining battle damage and attrition, he can get just excluded. Him, you know, someone like Guri or Greedo or Stormtrooper Garrison or P-59. Joker King puts a card on his force pile, like my father. And out comes the Chasm Walkway, and I'm sure it's going to be accompanied by 2 or 3 characters. Chewie, also known as Bowie. And he's going to be teamed up with Solo, well, Episode 7. Guy's going to the famous Episode 6 location, and BB-8 as well, so he's going to ping. Yeah, hopefully everyone out there got your special someone a Valentine's Day card or a gift. I need to wrap mine, but at least I got one. And like I said, hopefully there's still some more time left in Jaw Was in Love if you guys want to get some more games in. I think that event went really well. Thanks to everyone who played. You made Corin and the Jaw Council very happy. And I think it was really good. I think people really enjoy playing that format where you just kind of lop off the top part of the meta. We get a disarmed retrieved. And we were talking, I mean, it's always this meta game of match play of what do you think your opponent's going to play, what do you think they think you're going to play. And I think Ryan said it a few times, but like the Princess Bride thing, and that's where you can get to some tricky matchups. But it's a different format. It's good. This and the NPC, the quote unquote normal NPC, which is going to be online again this year. That's just a little over 2 months away. So I'm sure the tournament committee, as we see Force Trainer 3 at the Jedi Council Chamber, Blaster Deflection, Toss from Hand, Escape Pod combo, and finally Jedi Lev off the top. But yeah, that's going to be the second to last weekend in April, the 23rd-ish. And that's was that 9 weeks away, so the NPC Council probably Taco Bill, Shaw, and Goglin probably start thinking about seeding people. Signups are probably going to start pretty soon. Seedings usually are out at least 2 or more like 3 weeks ahead of the event, so people can kind of plan. They do it so that people on the same team don't end up playing in like the first round or second round. As we have another drain here, Rescue was tossed to the Mustafar drain, and then Mess combo comes off the top, which is capped because of the Burdens of the Force. Yep, you're welcome. Yeah, this one's interesting. So Connor's already at 20 life force. Here comes Tarkin's bounty. There's got to be probably a Dobreed combo to transport one of all these guys over to the village. I think that's kind of what, or maybe a couple of them go to the Chasm Walkway and then a couple more join them. If Connor can get on 3 battlegrounds and pull resistance, although he's got 4 shields, I don't know if any of them. Oh, Min's not out. If he could turn on resistance, that'd be really good for him. Cap that drain to 2, and then he's retrieving 1 with the 7 side. You can kind of draw this out. Here comes Vader, so he's on to play 5 because Gideon's at the square. So this is big. So now he's going to turn at least temporarily, and he can cancel BB-8 or Chewie's text. Probably wants to cancel Chewie's text on his turn, and BB-8. Well, he probably always wants to cancel Chewie's text. Here comes Sergeant Torrent, who is a 2/2, goes to 2/4 insurrection. Doesn't get the deploy -2 because it's Death Star, not Death Star 2. Here comes Renz. I think Torrent he's a trooper. He is a senior watch trooper. So he's power 4 now, I'm guessing. Because Renz himself is power +2. Nope. What's his text? I thought Renz gets the power +2 while present with a stormtrooper. Oh, so Torrent is just a trooper, he's not a stormtrooper. That makes sense. Nevar, yeah, so he's gonna Connor sets up Justice, stacks a couple cards, pull, eye roll. Yalnau, he is now at 16 life force. Interesting, Presence of the Force goes to Mustafar. And he's gonna be careful. We saw this the other day with the Joe Apollyon matchup where Apollyon was like, wait a minute, we're at 12 and 12 in life force. I'm gonna win the Lost Pile tiebreak. I can just draw up and win. And unfortunately, it's not always that straightforward because sometimes your opponent has some used interrupts in their hand or some other way. Like Joe mentioned, his backup plan. I guess maybe his backup plan was referring in case he played a card to pull a card, and then if he actually did pull a card, which he wasn't wanting to do, he could have done Obi-Wan Kenobi V, exchanged 2 cards in hand for a used interrupt, and then cycle the used interrupt as Chewie gets his game text canceled. So there's kind of that funky thing of sometimes you're like, oh, I can just draw up here and win the match, but there's some curveballs that can be thrown. and I'm sure Joker King's aware of, Connor's got 6 cards in his hand. He has 16 cards down, and the differential in game 1 was 17. Hopefully you get, oh, it's covered up a little bit. Let me move this. Whoops, don't want to move that. Let's try this again. All right, there we go. All right. Game 1, Joker King plus 17, if you guys can see that. I think this is a glitch, too. I think this is a bug that Connor was just able to initiate Vader's castle action to deploy, but he's already on the table. So I didn't think you can do that. Like Twilight can't be used to deploy Yoda's hut once Yoda's hut's on the table. Maybe I'm wrong though. Like you can use the saddle to try to deploy Luke even after he's out of play. That one makes sense to me. But yeah, that shouldn't have been. Why can't I cancel Chewie's text? I think you already did, Connor. You already canceled it, yeah. Yeah, you already took care of him. But now Solo's going to draw 2. Well, now he's not because Justice just got used. He's going crazy. This was me versus Scott's Mind, what you have learned. When I drew a Battle Destiny and was like, wait a minute, why didn't I get Battle Destiny? Sometimes these matches, you start, your head's spinning and you're trying to keep track of a lot of things. Connor draws a 4. That's going to kill somebody. Whether it's BB-8 or Solo or Chewie. Connor probably wants it to be BB-8, maybe? Because he can then just cancel Chewie's weapon and he can cap Solo from adding Battle Destiny because of Justice. So if he gets BB-8 off the table and then they lose that damage, it's a 1. Not a huge deal, but at least now Connor doesn't have to stack a card on, I feel, conflict. And he's gonna retrieve, okay. So that was a nice turn for Connor to just obviously cut into Joker King's scheduled damage. Captain Sarkley, who is not an ISB agent, I found out in playtesting. I just assumed he's a spy. But he's not an ISB agent. So he can be retrieved with enforcement, but he can't be retrieved with the 7 side. So this will be interesting. So now he's at 17 cards face down. It's going to be a bit of a grind here with Connor probably really wants to find a cold feet or a min to get resistance out. But it is possible. He already did that once, so he might still have a shield pull that he can do. Can you see it on the screen, Scott? It's right above the light side player's hand, Joker King plus 17. Let me make it bold. Wow. Whoops, now I made it smaller. I don't want to do that. Let's see. There we go. I think that's kind of a zone that won't overlap with any of the game action. No problem. So Vader's going to cancel BB-8's text. That's interesting. So it's going to save him force, but now Chewie can fire. HITCO always has really high destiny, so it wouldn't be out of the question for him to hit Vader and then flip. Joker King has 8 cards in hand. I'm going to bet at least 1 or 2 of them are characters. So it might be worth it even just to get Vader off the table. I mean, he could get retrieved with enforcement, but not unless they're battling. So again, if you're Joker King, you want to just keep chipping away. Um, comes the drain of 3. He probably really just wants to chuck like ISB agents, guys he can get back. Yeah, there goes the second Tarkin. There goes a Gick. Interesting. But I can understand it. And a sneak attack. Sneak attack non-V. If all your abilities provided by scouts or spies, which probably... Oh, here comes a mess. To fire at Renz, I'm guessing? Is it Renz or... Yeah. I'm going to bet he hits because defense value 2 and he's drawn 2. Yeah, there's a 4. And a 6 with Luke. So it looked like the other game, remember I was talking about, I saw game 1 and it looked like, it looks like he already advanced. Okay, so I guess it's update on the forums. So I'm not sure if he goes by Lawrence or I think he might go by Rich, but definitely Lawrence Craft. I think he's from the Y4 area. He advances to the Elite 8. He will play the winner of Wayne and Adam. Wayne, Coruscant League 2020 champion. They're going to be playing game 1 Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And Adam's a Minnesota guy. Maybe Wisconsin. Minnesota or Wisconsin. He's from Bestman. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Wayne got to the Elite 8 in the MPC last year, so that's about 10 months ago. I think he knocked out Chris, I believe? Chris Kelly? Yeah. Me and him we talk Y4 Ops, because I think we're 2 of the biggest fans of that deck. Maybe Yodad too. And I know, I think Batmouse likes it, and Worfs likes it too. So here comes Ahsoka Lando. So that's now going to be 2 Battle Destiny. Yeah, Connor's definitely kicking himself for canceling BB-8's text and not Chewie's. Because now he lost Ren's, which was, what, is that 6 forfeit? No, 8 forfeit power that he would soak up. And now Vader's going to lose his 8 forfeit probably. And this, he just tossed the Gick, so he probably has a second one, but even if he has one, that's gonna set him back a bunch, because now, Joker King's gonna win this site. He's gonna be able to keep BB-8. Okay, so he keeps Vader's forfeit. But BB-8's not going anywhere. Neither's Chewie. He's gonna lose Lando or Ahsoka here. And he's going to grab it just to take another card out. So now Connor's dealing with, 21 all in. Oh, that looked a little different than I remember. That was quite a bullet hole. Poor Vader. Chewie's bowcaster, man. Oh, I wonder if the bowcaster is a little different than like just a normal blaster. I gotta ask Eric, because he did these animations. Obviously, there's ones for lightsabers, there's ones for blasters, and I wonder if there's ones for like bowcasters a little different, or blaster rifles different than blaster. I gotta check with him on that. And then we get a clash to cancel presence, and this is not good for Connor. But I mean, I said at the beginning, I think Joker King was underseeded as a 40, and not to complain, because Batmouse does a great job running this thing, and because it's free, I don't think anyone really has the right or standing to kind of criticize it. It's fun, it's a good event, it's good practice, it's good, decent competition. But some of the seedings aren't, understandably he's not going through a 3 or 4 person panel, and maybe looking at every single result. But he overall does a pretty good job. But there's always a couple people that are a little underseeded, a couple people that are overseeded. Spoil. So we have Gift of the Mentor is drawn for Battle Destiny. And we have a concession from Connor. So yeah, so kind of a whole bunch of things kind of came together for Joker King there. Well played, well planned. So Joker King will move on. And he will face the winner of a Rebel Spy and Killer Kiwi, two guys from the Pac Northwest. So they're probably going to be playing a late game, so hopefully Dan can commentate that, because it's going to be on his time zone. Yeah, you guys are welcome. It's pretty late, but I think I had fun. I liked both these guys a lot, and it was going to be a pretty good match. So I will, this will be on my Twitch, twitch.tv/ obviously if you're on here, you know where it is, JNAP31. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for interacting with the chat. Always makes things go a little smoother and makes us a little more beneficial to everybody in the community, new players, current people in the event, tenured players who aren't participating, whoever. So let's hop out here. And yeah, I'm about to go to bed, but just kind of curious. So it looks like Justin Desai is cranking out another game of OCS. He was playing Gavin when this one started. So yeah, all right. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks again for everyone for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed those couple spoilers and enjoyed the coverage. And I will be back on the stream again whenever it's appropriate. All right, everyone take care. Bye.